welcome to today's class. Today we'll begin seated, so you can find your seat, any position with the legs that feels comfortable and right to you. Maybe sitting up on something to take the hips a little bit higher. And then start to ground down into your hips and sitting bones. Feeling a little bit of heaviness there at the bottom of the pelvis. And then from that heaviness, find some lightness and lift through the mid-spine, upper spine, and chest. You can let your eyes close. And begin to just feel yourself sitting here. Noticing the sensations that are present. You might feel one particular area of the body a little bit more. Or you might feel the entire body. The sensation of you being right here. Notice if there's any tension in your face. And try to let your face become expressionless. Softening around the corners of the eyes, the sides of the mouth. Relaxing a bit more through the chest. And then sensing the upper arm bones just draping down and out from the shoulders. Bring your attention to your belly. Feeling the belly widen, pressing out and forward with your in-breath. And then moving in and becoming softer with your out-breath. Noticing if your mind gets distracted, and then just using the next inhale to refocus. Taking about 5 more grounding, centering breaths here. As you feel ready, you can start to bring yourself back. Letting your eyes come open when the time feels right. And then you can take your hands behind you. Stretch out your legs for a moment. Taking a little bouncing with the backs of the legs, or if the hips feel tight, you might sway the toes and feet a little bit side to side, or just kind of flopping the feet around here. And then we'll bend the left knee. You might want to have a block here to support the outer left leg as we bend the knee and take the left foot in near the right thigh. Definitely doesn't matter if the foot touches. So just taking a bend in that knee and then extending that right leg out long. We'll take hands down by the sides of the hips here. And then first working on finding a tall line through the spine. So you can extend out through the right leg, spreading the right toes. So really lengthening that line in the space between the big toe and the pinky toe. And then try to also keep long through the inner leg so that we're not turning the inner heel in, but instead the inner heel follows the same line as the inner calf and inner thigh. And then from here, we'll take the left hand around and forward as we turn toward the right toes. Taking a breath here, keeping the spine upright for a moment. And then maybe walking the hands forward, taking a bit of a fold so the belly stays soft as we lengthen the back body and let it round down toward the right knee. And you can have a bend in the right knee here, so making sure that you adjust for any tightness in the back of the right leg or even into the lower back. And then as you breathe in, press into the hands, lift the chest out toward the right big toe. And exhale, walk the hands back in, turn the shoulders forward. And then we're going to ground the left hand, take a big circle with the right arm, out toward the left and up. We're going to keep the left sitting bone and hip down, but take a bit of a side bend away from the right leg. Breathing in, press into the left hand. Right arm lifts up and grounds down outside the right leg. As we turn and fold, chest down toward the right knee. And then breathing in, hands pressed down, lifting all the way up. Turning back into center, and then we'll change sides. So now the right knee bends, taking the sole of the foot near the left inner leg, and then left leg lengthens out to the side. You might take a block underneath the right thigh, and then first we just find that length through the torso, as we already probably create some opening through the left leg. You might feel this a lot through the inner thigh or maybe more into the back of the left leg, just depending on what areas of the body might be a little tighter for you this morning. Taking another breath or two with a soft, steady gaze. Using still eyes to keep the mind focused on how the body feels here. And then we'll bring the right hand around somewhere to the inside of the left leg as we turn the belly and chest toward the leg. Taking a breath or two here, staying upright. And then maybe walking the hands forward to fold forward. With your in-breath, press the hands down, lift and lengthen the back. And exhale, hands come in, shoulders turn forward. And then we ground the right hand down, left arm sweeps forward and up. Opening through the chest as we stay grounded with the left hip and sitting bone. Continuing to reach out through the left leg. Breathing in, pressing into the right hand. We lift all the way up, left hand grounds down, and the right arm comes around to the left leg, folding in. A little bit of a turn with our fold here. And then we'll press both hands down, lifting all the way up. And use the exhale to turn forward. We'll release and make our way into child's pose. So arranging the knees underneath the hips. You can take the tops of the feet to the floor. And then hands press down to push the hips back. Letting the belly rest down on the thighs and keeping some length through the arms, the sides of the waist. And then as you breathe in, push into your fingertips so much that your palms lift up. And with your out breath, palms ground down. Again, like that, fingertips press down, palms lift. And exhale, palms down to the mat. One more time, just starting to wake up the shoulders. And then with our in-breath, we'll rock forward to tabletop. Taking a couple rounds of cat and cow, making sure that the hands are grounded, but there's a little bit more weight in the knuckles and fingertips. And then with the inhale, we roll the sitting bones up, roll the heart open. And exhale, we round the back, tuck the belly up and in. Inhale, rocking forward, easy gaze forward. And exhale to round, pressing the back up. With your next in-breath, find a neutral spine. And then we're going to step the right leg out to the right. And so we want to have enough space between the right leg and the left knee that the left hip can stay over the knee. The left hip isn't pressing out to the left. Then we push down into the pinky toe side of the right foot. Firm the left shoulder and reach up through the right arm. And then keeping the right arm reaching, just make some circles with your wrist here. So just taking a few one direction and then the other. You don't have to look up at the right hand. So actually in most cases, it's better to just look out to the side. And then with our in-breath, we'll still the right hand. And with the out-breath, take the right hand down to the mat. And then we'll walk the hands in. So we lift up here, shoulders stack on top of the hips. We're going to take the right hand down the right leg, and we're just using it for stability here. So we're not pressing down into the thigh or knee. That right leg is really strong. And then with an in-breath, we send the left arm high. And exhale, maybe tipping into a side bend, reaching the left arm out toward the right toes. Inhale, brings the left arm back up. And exhale, hands come down back to the mat underneath the shoulders. And then place the right knee back down underneath the hip. And so we'll take the other side, stepping the left leg out to the left. I'm going to move just a little bit off my mat here so I have space for my leg. And then make sure that the left inner foot lines up with the right knee. From there, we engage the right shoulder. So we're really pressing the ground away with that right arm. And then open up to the left, reaching the left arm high. Here, taking some movement with the left wrist, some easy circles. You in each direction. And then with an in-breath, we'll still the left hand, taking a nice full reach. And exhale, we take the left hand down to the ground and then walk the hands back in. Lifting up through the shoulders, left hand stretches down the left leg. And with the in-breath, we reach the right arm up. Maybe staying here, working on the length and opening through the right side, or extending the right arm over toward the left toes. Inhale to rise up. And exhale, hands lower down to the mat. We'll step the left knee in. And then set up for our downward facing dog. So stepping the hands slightly forward past the shoulders. We roll the inner elbows a little bit forward as well. And then tucking the toes under, we press into the balls of the feet. Lift the knees and hips. And find a bit of a bend in your knees here. So you feel the tailbone curling up toward the sky. You feel length through the lower back. And then take a moment to pedal out your feet with some alternating knee bends. Take an in-breath with neutral legs, pressing long through the arms. And with your exhale, bend your knees, walking your feet forward toward the top of the mat. Taking a moment in your forward fold and arranging the weight of the feet so that they're evenly distributing the weight of the body between both the right and left foot, and then between the fronts and backs of the feet. Bend your knees a lot and slowly roll up to stand, bringing yourself into mountain pose. Palms turned forward, chest open and expansive, crown of the head reaching up toward the sky. Inhale, sweep your arms up and out. Exhale, bend your knees and fold. Inhaling to a halfway lift. And exhale, fold down and in. Press into the feet, reach the arms up and out as you rise. Exhale, hands meet and lower to the heart. Inhale, arms sweep up. Exhale, fold forward and down. Inhaling halfway up. Exhale to fold. Inhale, rise up to stand. Exhale, hands meet and lower to the heart. Changing the pattern now, breathing in to stretch up. And breathing out, pressing the hips back and taking the arms halfway forward. Finding our chair pose here with thumbs aiming up toward the sky. A bit of a bend in the knees, but making sure that the knees feel okay here. So we're engaging the thighs a lot as we reach back with the hips. Breathe in, rise up to stand. Exhale, hands meet and lower to the heart. Inhale, sweeping the arms up. Exhaling to chair pose. As you breathe in, turn your palms down, sweep your arms back by your sides. And then inhale, rise up to stand, arms go forward and up. Exhale, belly draws in, folding forward and down. Inhaling halfway up. Exhale to fold. Inhale, rising up to stand. And as you exhale, keep your arms high, lift the right foot. So trying to bring that right knee up in toward the chest. And with your exhale, keep the arms high, take a big step back with the right foot. Arriving in a high lunge. Making sure that the left knee stays over the left heel as it is bent. Inhaling here. And as you exhale, we're going to pivot and open up to the right side of the mat, 5-pointed star. So both feet are grounded, the heels are in line with each other. Toes are facing the long side of the mat, and then we reach wide through the arms. Inhale, stretching out through arms and legs. And exhale, spinning the heels in, bending the knees, bending the elbows. Inhale, pressing into the balls of the feet, straightening the feet, reaching wide through the arms. Exhale, pivoting again, heels spin in, hips sink down, elbows bend. One more time, breathing in, kicking the heels wide, reaching the fingertips apart. And exhale, turning the heels in, finding the bend. Breathe in, reach up, straightening arms and legs. And as you exhale, take your hands down to your hips. We'll spin the heels out, feet parallel, and then bend into the right knee. So as the right knee bends, we still press the hips back, leaning away from the left leg. And then from here, we'll push off the right foot and step the right foot forward next to the left. Take a quarter turn forward and find your mountain pose. Taking 3 breaths to check in, to recenter and get grounded. Inhale, stretching the arms up and high. Exhaling to chair pose, tailbone lengthening back as the fingertips reach forward. Keeping the collarbones wide. And then turning the palms down, bringing the arms back alongside you. You might even press the palms up behind you here. Inhale, rising up to stand. And exhale, arms sweep wide, fold forward and down. Inhaling, halfway lift. And exhaling to fold. Breathing in, we sweep the arms up as we lift the chest. And with the exhale, we lift the left foot. Squeezing the knee up, engaging the foot. With your next in-breath, reach long through the left leg, stepping back, high lunge. Trying to stay steady with the breath to help you find balance here. Inhaling here. And with the exhale, we spin open to the left, finding our 5-pointed star. Arranging the feet so heels are on the same invisible line. Both feet are parallel to each other. Reaching out long through arms, legs, and the top of the head up to the sky. Inhaling here. Exhaling, heels turn in, knees and elbows bend. Inhale, straighten and extend out. Exhale to bend and sink down. Inhale. And exhale. Keep the legs as they are. Breathe in, just straighten the legs as you reach your arms up. And exhale, hands circle down to the hips. Then we pivot, turning the heels out. Finding our bend in the left knee here as the hips stretch back behind you. So you'll feel some stretch actually in the right inner leg here as well. Taking another breath in. And with the out breath, step the left foot up next to the right. Take a quarter turn forward and land in mountain pose. 3 breaths. Breathing in, sending the arms high to the sky. Breathing out, hips back, arms forward, chair pose. Then we turn the palms down, press the hands back, at least bringing arms even with the sides of the body, maybe a little bit more, taking the palms up behind you. Inhale, hands and arms come forward as we straighten the legs. Exhale, belly hugs in as we fold forward. Inhale to a halfway lift. And exhale to fold. We'll ground the hands down. Step back into a plank pose. So trying to keep the hips lifted away from the floor, using core engagement to support the hips. Take a breath in, and then really lift the hips and find downward facing dog, maybe softening the knees as you land in the pose. Taking your last breath in your downward dog. And then bending the knees all the way to the floor. Finding a child's pose, either knees hip width apart or maybe a little bit wider. You can let your arms rest in any comfortable position. So maybe the fists are stacked, maybe the forearms are stacked. Maybe you have a block underneath your head, supporting your forehead. As you're ready, you can start to lift your forehead, taking your hands back, shoulder width apart if they're not already. And then start to lift up back to your tabletop pose. Bringing the knees in hip width apart here. And then with that, taking the feet around to one side so you can come down to sit. And then we're going to sit with legs forward. Heels will be about as wide as the mat here. And if you sit like this and you notice that your lower back is rounding back and down to the floor, it will help you more to sit up on something. So you might use a block, maybe a pillow, a cushion nearby. And that helps to lift the lower spine. And so if you are lifted, the backs of your knees and legs will be a bit away from the ground, and that's fine. We're going to take the left hand, or maybe it's the fingertips if you're up higher, down to the floor, and then reach your right hand and right arm out toward the left toes. And as you reach out, we're going to draw the belly in. So we're building some strength here into the side waist muscles. We're going to reach with the inhale, and with the exhale, use the belly to pull you back up. So we'll go to the other side, right hand and fingertips down. The outside of the left hand reaches out toward the pinky toe, and then the exhale brings you back in. And so we'll alternate here a few times, really trying to make this movement come from the core. You'll probably feel some other areas stretching, maybe the back of the shoulder, maybe the sides of the waist a little bit, maybe also into the backs of the legs. So just paying attention to where you feel sensation in your body with this movement, side to side. Staying supported with your abdominal muscles. We'll just take one more each way. And then as you finish the second side, we're going to bring the bottoms of the feet together, finding a diamond shape with the legs. And we're going to have a forward fold here. So you might use blocks if that's helpful, maybe even underneath the thighs, maybe forward so that your hands can rest there. We want to have the heels fairly far away from the hips, so there's not a lot of compression in the knees happening. And then let your back start to round as you fold down. We want to try and keep the forehead aiming out toward the heels. So meaning we're not dropping the chin down and lowering the forehead down to the space between the calves. There's a little bit of extension happening. One final breath here. And then starting to rise up nice and slow. We're going to bring the knees back together and then come all the way down to lay on your back. So laying down with bent knees. We're going to take the right ankle over the left thigh. And then flexing the right toes. Pressing the right knee out and away from the belly. And then just find some side-to-side rocking here with the left foot. So we're going to roll to the outside of the left foot and then to the inside, just swaying the legs a little bit here. And then we'll still the left foot. Take the right knee into the chest, so unhooking the ankle, and then just squeezing the right leg in. And you might choose to extend the left leg forward here. And then you can start to relax the left leg, the straight leg. We're going to reach both arms out to the side. And then take the right knee over to the left, finding a spinal twist here. So letting the lower body turn, but only enough that you can still keep the right shoulder down on the ground. And then we'll roll back onto the right hip. Lifting up, setting the right foot down. And then you can bend the left knee and then even out the hips. So chances are the hips shifted a little bit with that twist, and you can come back to center. And then crossing the left ankle over the right thigh. Feeling the outer left hip here by pressing the knee forward. Drawing back on the left toes, and then finding your sway motion by rocking the right foot, rolling to the outer edge and then the inner edge. And then grounding the right foot. We'll unhook the left ankle and hug the left leg in, making sure the knee is over the hip. And then maybe stretching the right leg long. And then releasing your hold on the left leg. We're keeping the leg where it is, but just taking the arms out to the side. We'll move the left leg over toward the right into our twist. Then starting to roll back to the left hip. Placing the left foot down. And then grounding the right foot, evening out the hips. And taking a moment to make the body feel pretty even here. So starting to set up for our relaxation pose. And as you're ready, you can stretch your legs out long, bringing the heels away from the hips. Turning the palms to face up. And allowing yourself to really land here. Landing in this pose. Landing in your body. And staying fully attuned to each breath. And to invite some movement back to your fingers and toes. Maybe making some gentle circles with your wrists and ankles. Sending some more energy out through your arms and legs. If it feels right, you might choose to reach your arms overhead. Bringing length into the body, taking a couple of fuller breaths. And when you're ready, bending your knees, hugging them into the chest. Either staying still or finding some gentle rocking movement side to side. And in your own time, you can roll over to one side, using your hands to push yourself up into a seat, closing your eyes as you arrive. Taking a moment to acknowledge the work that you have done. Not only on the physical level, but also the mental and energetic levels. Noticing the results of your efforts, whatever they may be for you. And to seal in our practice, we'll take a full stretch up with the arms, bringing hands together at the top and lowering them down to the heart. The goodness in me sees and honors the goodness in you. Namaste. All right. Thanks for your practice today.